Hi everyone, Phil here. First, a bit of housekeeping. So apologies firstly, I've not posted any videos for a few days, and that's because I've been redecorating my house, and as I'm on my own I can't do everything at once, and so sorry about that, but I've got one to post today which you're about to see, and there's others in the pipeline. As you know, I'm trying to hit 1,000 hits on my YouTube channel, and so far I'm at 750 and rising. So please do everything you can to get to that 1,000 hits. And when we do, I shall donate £1,000 to a health charity if you guys give me some idea of which ones you think should be supported. So today, what's the topic today? Well, it's something rather charming and lovely. It's about old toys, which mean a lot to me. What did kids do before Lego? Can you imagine a time before Lego? Well, the toy I particularly want to show you today, and I'll show you some other toys at the end as well, but this is a toy called Baco, and it's made from early Bakelite type plastic. So it was produced in the 1950s and 60s. So I was born in 55, so in the sort of early 60s I would have been playing with this. And it's a construction set where you make buildings, houses, railway stations and things. And what you do is you have a base which has holes in it and metal rods that you put in rows into the base, and then you have plastic bricks and windows and doors and bits and pieces that you slide down the rods to make the house, and then you put a roof on top. A guy called Plimpton was the inventor of it, and he, I think, had seen similar systems in both Holland and France, and came up with this. So he came up with the Baco system. Now, I know that some of you really enjoyed seeing the Cessna build, the model aeroplane that was filmed in time lapse. So I've got some time lapse for you as well to show you how I made this model. Okay, so enjoy the video, and here we go. This is my Baco building sets, which is what I used to do as a little kid. As did many of my generation, and it was the precursor to Lego, you could buy different sets. So let's have a little bit of a closer look, and sets I think range from 0 up to 4, and then there were special ones you could get above that. So this one here, you can see how lovely these pictures are and how evocative of the 50s and 60s, and this one here is set 1, and this one here is a bit tatty, but this is from set 3, and this was a bigger set where you could build some fancier houses, and these are the parts that you used. So the original colour for Baco was this green and some brown bricks and pieces, so that's roofing and that's bricks. And then over here we have some bases that you use to build the models on. And then you see the bricks. So after a while they managed to make red and white bricks. Here are those. Here's some roofs, so you can make different styles. Here's some glue and things. Here's some more bits and pieces. There's more bricks there, and then they had things like windows. Those are all windows in there, and these are the sort of curved pieces that you need to make bay windows. Because obviously these houses reflected the 1920s and 30s and the style of housing that was popular in those days. So you can see all the parts here. These bags here are all different length rods that you use to push into the base and then slide the bricks down to make the models. So here's some more bits and pieces, and here are all the lovely instructions and all the pictures. And you can see here, this is a lovely book that shows you all the different models that you can make. And if I turn to page 23, not sure if I can find it. Where are we? That's 20, 21. next page, 23. You see this model here is a bungalow with a sun lounge. And here it is. There is the bungalow with the sun lounge. And that is what we're going to build. And I'll show you how. So that was Baco, and I remember it very fondly. Now, before we go, I thought I'd just show you a couple more toys from my childhood, which some of the older fogies like me just might remember. So here's a few more toys from my youth. Just shows how things have changed from the children of today to my generation. How simple life was. The first one here is called Blow Football, and you can see it's rather a nice picture on the box. And this, it was as simple as this. You had a goalkeeper in each goal, and so he waited just there in the goal, and you had the ball here, and with a tube you blew into one end, and there was a goal. Yeah, so really you can't get much simpler than that, can you really? This is a Jetex speedboat. Now mostly Jetex were known for their model planes, but they did make things like this as well, but they're called Jetex, but actually they really were little rockets. I'm not sure if I can get it out. There we are. So there's the instructions for it, and here's the little boat with its little jet motor. There we go. Quite cool, really. Right, really rather lovely. And yeah, so you bought the fuel in little tins like this, and here we are. There's the solid fuel charges. So you put them inside that canister, and there was a little gauze that you put. There's a little gauze, and yeah, you set fire to it and off it went at a rate of knots. Yeah, there we go. So that was the Jetex speedboat. And then finally we come on to my probably all-time favourite from years ago, is the Frog range of flying models, ready to fly. And it was the very early days of plastic. And a lot of people remember this model for one good reason, and I'll just show you when I've taken the lid off. So here you are, this is inside the box. So we've got the plastic wings here, which were 2 layers of plastic, rather nice. Very early plastic, quite brittle. There's the other wing, and this is the fuselage in the middle here. Again, sort of early plastic. And you can see in the nose there's a hole there, and that's because just here we have the motor. And what was great about the motor was the way that it was wound up. And that was done inside the box. There's the winder mechanism, and it came with a little handle which we have here, and you plug that into the side of the box. Here you are. Tells you all about it and how many turns to give it, and you plug that in, and sorry, I'm doing this all by one hand. There you are. That way you can wind the propeller. Rather lovely. My dad could always be relied on to come up with some fantastic toys for myself and my brother Chris at Christmas. And this was one very special year when we received the USS Battle Wagon. This is a fantastic toy made in the early 60s by an American company, Deluxe Reading. And I'll show you some of the things that it can do. So the little red button on top, when you push it, it fires off 2 missiles from the turret gun at the very front of the boat. It had a working searchlight. It could fire torpedoes. It launched a fighter plane off the angled deck and had another airplane waiting just behind, ready for its turn to fly. It even had 2 missiles to launch at the rear. One of the really lovely things about this boat was that it had a motor underneath, and the batteries were underneath as well. And when you turned it on, the boat would go along the floor, and it would rise up and down as if it was going through the waves. It had a sort of cam device that made the nose come up and down. It was a really beautiful toy, and Chris and I were so lucky. But the very best toy that Chris and I had was the absolutely fabulous Johnny 7 gun. 7 because it had 7 different weapons and armaments on it. And it was every young boy's dream to have one of these back in the 60s. And I don't have one now, unfortunately. And you can see from this eBay advert just exactly how sought after they are. Anyhow, I hope you've really enjoyed this trip down memory lane and seeing all these old toys. And I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any comments, please send them in to me. Take care, stay safe, and tell everyone about Phil's Fun for Fogies. Let's get to 1,000 hits, and have a great time and stay safe. Bye.